Blog Talk Radio. Blog Talk Radio.
Party crew, keep it real for you. No clothes allowed. Pajama party. Growing sexy, doing the party. Pajama party. Party crew, keep it real for you. No clothes allowed.
All right, welcome to another Friday edition of the Pajama Party. I'm one of your hosts, Poppa DD. I'm here with Ketel.
Hello.
And Redwine.
Bonsoir, darling.
All right. Incidentally, we're not going to be taking any calls tonight, just so you know. So you just listen in and be patient. If something hits you and you want to call in, we're not taking any calls tonight. So just hear us out, if you would. So,
Sit back and chill out.
what's happening otherwise?
Everything.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. Everything.
Yeah.
How you doing tonight, Kevin?
Not too bad. How you guys doing?
Everything is good.
I'm bouncing like a ball.
Good.
Okay. All right. Is that a good thing? Bouncing like a ball or what?
Heck yeah. Gotta keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep it moving.
Yeah, all right. Mm-hmm. Let's get a cocktail.
All right. Hey, don't start now. Just getting going and she talking cocktails. All right, Poppa DD, what's our lead story for tonight?
You know, I saw on the news earlier today, I just want to get y'all's opinion on this, how they said that they ran across some text messages between Clarence Thomas's wife and some high-up aides from Donald Trump, including Donald Trump, how she was participating in overthrowing the election. She was real serious about it. They finally found text messages that verified that fact and all, and they show her with Clarence Thomas, and he looking all old and gray and crazy, and she looked pretty crazy her damn self, to be honest with you. The question tonight is, here's a man that, when it came to the woman, what was her name? Anita Hill. Yeah, and he was acting, talking like he was so hip and all this jazz, and he was so fancy. But he marries this decrepit-looking ass white woman, okay, who just looks atrocious, okay. And now she's all up on Trump's ass, and she's hobnobbing with Trump people, and she's all into the, overthrow the election and all that. Now, do you think he ever realized actually what he was bargaining for in the beginning of that whole situation? Now that he's totally engulfed in the white world, what do you think?
I'll jump in and I'll say I'm pretty sure he did not know what he was getting into, because Miss Jenny. His wife's name is Virginia, but they call her Jenny. So Miss Jenny, I think, just got busy when that election didn't go the way she thought it was going to go. Apparently, she is a hardcore Republican, and she did not appreciate when they said that Biden had won that election.
Yeah, lost her mind.
Yeah, all of this connecting with what's that guy, Meadows?
Meadows is his main advisor.
Yeah, chief of staff or whatever he was.
Yeah, he was the main
Trump.
dog. And
they're texting each other back and forth and talking about stay strong. We got to rally the army.
We're gonna get our army together to get
what?
this. It was when they went up against her for comment, she had no comment. Claimed, I don't want to comment on that. And now Clarence Thomas is acting like he's all sickly until this blows over. So anyway,
that's a hot hornet's nest. And he's supposed to be an impartial judge, but his wife is behind the scenes trying to help manipulate an election.
Yeah, Donald Trump got some strong people. Sorry about that. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, I didn't realize all this was going on. I mean,
yeah, it was just broke today.
Oh, okay.
The text messages just broke today that she was all on their side and she's pushing for the, overturn. But
well, let me ask you this: how did she get so political? Was she already in the political arena before Clarence Thomas became judge, or what?
No, she was always Republican, but then Trump casts a spell on people, and people take it, some people take it really strong, like the guy that sells the pillows and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Remember how crazy he was? He was
Mike Lindell. Let me put him on the kiss it list.
Lord knows he was crazy. And it must amaze me with Trump when he looks at people that he's really influencing to really get crazy, How do you feel about yourself when you got the influence to turn people out like that?
It must be quite a mind trip.
He probably don't think it's crazy because that's his normal. Come on now. You're talking about Donald Trump now. This is normal. So,
yeah. You think you're supposed to abide by it.
But my thing is, all of this didn't come out when Clarence Thomas was running. They brought Anita Hill to the forefront. They talked about her. The wife didn't come to the forefront as far as her political party or anything like that. That was swept underneath the rug. So that's why I'm kind of surprised. I'm like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
Oh, but she's raised her head up before. I can't remember now what the incident was. Something happened. It was during that Anita Hill stuff. Not the initial thing, but I think it was later, a few years after the fact or something. You all remember that?
Right, yeah.
Where Anita was making a statement or something.
Yeah, he told her she needed to back off or some shit.
Yeah, she was basically threatening Anita Hill.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
Need to back
Where
off,
did this lady come from with that?
And you living off of all that black man's money, and you, oh my God, this.
Wow.
Lord have mercy. That man has lost his mind.
Some wild stuff going on.
Do they have any children?
None that I heard of.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Maybe he got with her to get the political gain. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? You never know what circles that you go into. And
he's already
great to the level.
Well, he's in that circle. So in that circle he's in, as far as all that, it's all white. I've always said that myself about entertainers and stuff like that, actors, and people that always the hobnob with white folks. That's what they end up with because that's who they're around every day. It's just
Yeah, that's some crazy. Okay.
Anyway.
Well, we'll keep an eye on it.
All
right.
Breaks
over the weekend.
Wow. Okay. So who's on the kiss it list from that? Donald Trump?
I said Orange 45 and Mike Lindell and Mark Meadows and Virginia Thomas.
Virginia Thomas and
you got a lot out of that.
Yeah. Already.
Okay. All right. Y'all ready to get into this rundown?
Is it Thomas? Yeah. Clarence Thomas. Thomas. Yeah.
Uncle Tom, remember?
Yeah, exactly. I can remember it that way. All right. You ready to get into this rundown? Let's do it.
Okay.
All right. Hit 'em.
All right. Tonight in Focus, we got quite a bit for you tonight. Stacey Abrams blocked from raising funds for her campaign. Here we go again. Also, high schoolers organized vigil to keep cops out of schools. And the housing market has gone even crazier. Our cocktail of the week is the bourbon swizzle. Also, what's popping with Poppa DD? We're going to lighten it up, of course, with our weird news. Scientists genetically modified lettuce so it can be grown in space. Okay. Also, Coors pays woman $1,000 to dream. Okay. Man builds 100-foot limo with swimming pool and helipad. Okay. I'm just saying with Redwine, you rebuild yourself. Living for the city with Poppa DD. my Hollywood wrap-up, the Kiss It list, and the last word. So sit back, relax, and get your favorite cocktail, and we're going to start with In Focus.
All right. Well, I'm going to kick it off and talk about Stacey Abrams. Now, what's happening with her, you remember how she ran for governor of Georgia. Of course, this would be a problem coming out of the South, but how she almost won. Well, she's trying to run again, and now they're coming up with some bull, really, trying to block her from starting her fundraising. Because, you know, that's part of it. When you start running for these offices, that's one of the first things they usually do. They declare your candidacy, and then you start raising money. So Stacey Abrams has filed a lawsuit seeking to immediately begin fundraising for her campaign for governor under state law that prevents her gubernatorial leadership committee from doing so. So that's why she's filing a lawsuit. Now, she's requesting to take advantage of a new kind of fundraising committee that was created by Georgia's lawmakers last year, and that her opponent, who's the Republican governor currently, Brian Kemp, put him on the Kiss It list, has already been able to make use of this new law. Now, it's called a leadership committee. This law allows certain people and groups to accept unlimited contributions. Now, to me, that's already a problem. There was a reason why there was a law that limited how much any single person or single group could donate to a campaign. But Georgia decided to change the law last year, and now they've got this thing set up where it's unlimited on the contributions. So giving to direct candidate committees, on the other hand, is limited to $7,600 apiece for the primary and $4,500 for the runoff. So, you know, they got this thing all rigged up. And what I'm saying is that, as usual, they write the rules of the game so that they'll win the game because it's their game. And then when black folks figure out how to play the game and how to win the game, what do? They change the daggone rules. So now they're trying to block Stacey Abrams from using this new rule. So under this law, the committees can be formed by the governor, the lieutenant governor, opposing party members. They got all these, you know, people or entities who can form these committees, and they can coordinate and do all the stuff that they normally do. But although Georgia did not officially approve Stacey Abrams as the Democratic nominee, what she's arguing is that nobody filed to run against her in the May 24th Democratic primary, and because write-in votes aren't allowed, she basically became, by default, the Democratic nominee. So the way she's seeing it, what's the problem? Nobody ran against her, nobody wrote in, so let me just do my thing. And they're blocking her, trying to come up with some way to not allow her to do what she's trying to do. So she's, you know, put her stuff together for the hearing, and she's trying to fight against it. But the problem, part of the problem, is that the candidate on the Republican side that she's running against, the Republican Kemp, he already has started raising money. He's already raised like $2.3 million because now he's got to jump on her because she's sitting in front of a big old roadblock. It burns me that this kind of stupidity continues, and now she's got to deal with the lawsuits and all of the red tape and the bull crap just to be able to do what she ought to be able to do anyway. But in the meantime, she's losing time, potentially losing money, while Kemp gets further ahead, raises more money, and now, as usual, black folk got to play catch-up. This is some bull. And I just feel like Georgia and everybody involved in this, all of y'all need to be on the Kiss It list, and y'all need to be shaming yourself. So I hope Stacey Abrams is able to overcome this roadblock and get beyond all this stuff. But I'm just saying, I'm calling foul on Georgia for this bull. What y'all think about that? I mean, come on. Why can't she go ahead and do her thing? She's not asking for money from them. She's just trying to go out and raise her money.
It just seems like she has to run as a ghost candidate because once they see her name, it's like, oh, we scared. What, you scared of a big black woman? I mean, that crap pisses me off. And it's like a black woman can't be powerful or can't hold a position. You know, just like the woman that they have on that they're drilling now. I mean, why do we have to go through all this? You have the credentials are there. They're the credentials, Judge Brown. The credentials are laid out. Why do we always have to prove ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. But this is still a white world, I guess. We have to realize that. But we're going to continue
we're trying to play their game, and they're determined to not let us play their game.
Right. Yeah, they don't even want us to be in the same ring. They want to be in a separate ring.
Yeah.
So we can't even fight fair. So.
But you called it on that, fear. Mm-hmm. They are scared of Stacey Abrams because that sister does not mess around.
No.
They know if she get out there and does what she needs to do, she got a real good chance of winning the governorship of Georgia. And those good old boys with the red on the back of their neck would lose their mind if Stacey Abrams ends up the governor of Georgia.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? It almost seems like, and I'm getting off my soapbox, that she has to go to another state to run. Because, like you said, the old boys of Georgia, they're not going to let her in that particular state. Because some women, like in the Senate or Congress, black women, they moved to other states and became those senators or congresswomen or whatever. And they broke a lot of barriers. So it's like, you're going to make me move, but sometimes you have to make your point, But I don't know.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to do that. If you're trying to represent a place where you grew up and where your roots are and, why you got to go move elsewhere and put down new roots and try to get the people to get behind you and all of that, you shouldn't have to do all that. If that's where you're from, then that's where you want to represent. Those Confederate flag-waving mofos need to get out the way.
Right. Yeah,
I say knock them out, Stacey. Knock them out.
You quiet over there, Papa. What's going on with you? What's your feeling?
No, I was just thinking. Like I always say, the only thing it takes to win an election is votes. And if they could stop people from getting votes, that's all they got to do. But on another level, I'm looking at when you said that she did something because she thought something was something else, when maybe she should have took the long route and did it based on what it is instead of what she thought it was. You know what I mean? Because you only give them ammunition. You know what I'm saying?
What she was saying in her lawsuit was that nobody else ran against her. Nobody wrote in.
Right, exactly.
So
but
she's
what,
the de facto candidate.
Yeah, but that's her view and her opinion. But I'm saying, what is the law of what it is you're supposed to do, regardless of who's running? Because you don't judge how the law is being demonstrated or how it's being proposed. You're supposed to just follow it. You can't say because somebody wasn't running against me, then I thought that I figured, I assumed it's all things that happen with oneself. And you can't, and I'm not beating up on her, but I'm saying that you got to just follow the procedure because you're dealing with the devil. You know what I mean? And if they see the fact that you're going to take a shortcut, which is the legitimate thing to do, you know what I mean? If they want you to put down traps for to catch mice, and you go buy a cat, well, you wasn't supposed to buy that cat, so now the mice can run around your house, damn it, And that's what it sounds like to me, So she just wanted to get a cat instead of putting down mouse traps like you're supposed to. But it seemed like she gave them some ammunition Because the one thing that we can't do as smart black people is try to, what they think is out-talk, out-maneuver ignorant white folks. That's the biggest insult in the world to them. When we doing something that's just logic, like she said, it's logic that I should blah, 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 blah. Well, that's not a lot. You're giving them, the ignorant people, the edge. But they're scared as hell, like you said, because she has a name and a reputation. But also it takes the people in Atlanta to get out of their cloud as well. You know what I mean? All the people in Atlanta, not just the black people. Because one thing about Atlanta is one of the most transient places you could be in. You know what I mean? You got sheer Georgianers like her in place, but then you got these Negroes that have been moving to Atlanta for the last, as much as I can remember, 40 years. You know what I mean? I knew people out of Philadelphia that moved to Atlanta a long time ago because they can get land and property at a damn good price. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they told a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And at one time, you remember the whole big move to Atlanta?
Oh, yeah.
Now it's about moving to L.A., but back then it was Atlanta. And now all that good shit is gone. That good shit's gone. And white folks still own the perimeters. Black folks have that inner Peachtree kind of, what do you call it, Hot Atlanta area.
Yeah.
They done took over
Buckhead.
Buckhead, and then Buckhead wasn't nothing special. That was just a part of town. Ain't no fucking Beverly Hills, so don't get it twisted. Okay, I've been in Atlanta a few times, and Buckhead is not nothing exclusive. It's just a area where all the clubs and bars and strips and all that is at, and a lot of white folks live there, but now black folks took that over. But they paid a pretty penny to live there because when the white folks sold them their houses, now the white folks moved out to the more rural areas with all that money they got from them blacks for buying their house in Buckhead. So it's, but I just think that the young lady should, just take her time and find out what she can do to get on track. But she really got to convince the black folks and everybody, black and white, Democrat in Georgia, get on her side. Get behind her. We need strength, man. Strength in number,
Yeah.
We can't be thinking that we so powerful with our voice and with our blackness, man. We just need to be powerful with our population.
True that.
And right now, there's a lot of black folks that ain't even voting, let alone stand up for the damn cause. Yeah, it's a mess.
Yep.
It's a mess.
All right.
Hot mess.
Keep it. Yeah, hot mess and hot Atlanta. All right. Speaking of hot messes, we're gonna go to Ketel now. What's your In Focus article, Ketel?
It's something closer to home. Interesting. They've been talking about this since last year, probably a little bit longer. But Montgomery County High School has organized a vigil to keep police out of schools. They've been going back and forth with, they want police in schools, or do they want what they call SROs, which is school resource officers. And they're more or less like counselors. So, article says a group of high schoolers gathered in Montgomery County, Maryland on Sunday to call attention to a new proposal to put armed officers in schools after the school resource officers program was discontinued. Montgomery County High School students stood in front of Carver Educational Services Center building where the school board meets. Putting in the CEO, that's the name of the program, 2.0 program, is not going to keep us safer, and it is actually just going to cause more trauma. So this was Hannah Miles. She was a freshman at Montgomery Blair High School in Silver Spring. Miles and the group called the Montgomery County Public Schools Superintendent, Monifa McKnight, to drop the recently proposed the CEO 2 that would put armed police officers into schools, but not at the same level as the previously used school resource, the SROs, which is the school resource officers. So it just sounds like they don't want quote unquote, I guess, cops in the schools, which makes sense to me, because it's just too much going on. They'll harm the child more than they would try to protect the child. Because, like they said, the school resource officers are more, they're supporting the students, and they're more or less like counselors. So they deal with the students on a daily basis. If you bring police officers, they used to, being on the streets, and quote unquote, they have a street mentality. So they're going to handle that student in that way, and that's not right. That's just not fair to the student. So,
right.
They've had in other places like Boston and Wisconsin kind of the same thing. A lot of different incidents have been going on. Like in Wisconsin, it was a 12-year-old girl. The police officer, put his knee on her neck to restrain her. Does that sound familiar? During a lunch school fight. This was in Wisconsin. And he resigns, the police officer, and he says he's going through some mental and emotional strain. Really? But you're going to take it out on the child?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, just different places, just too much is going on, with the police officers in the schools and everything. But they need to go back to, I believe, the SROs, which is the school resource officers. They work closer with the student than a cop coming from outside, so to speak. So,
yeah.
What do you think?
They ran into a lot of problems with those resource officers too.
Yeah, I guess to me, I think they must have overstepped their boundaries. Because if you're not one and the same, and you have certain guidelines you're supposed to go through, to me, I guess they were acting like they were police officers.
Right.
Once you put a uniform and a badge on a person, I got some authority, So.
Yeah, but there were resource officers who got busted for having sex with the kids. Some of them were choking the kids, beating up the kids. Getting into fist fights with the kids. It was a lot of crazy stuff. That's why the schools got rid of them and said, we just need the cops out, the resource officers out, put them all out.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you do when you have a violent incident in the school?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Because the teachers can't handle all that stuff if something breaks out in the school.
I agree.
The teachers shouldn't have to deal with it.
Right, they're trying to teach.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Yeah. So.
I don't know. What's the answer, Poppa DD? What are they supposed to do?
They don't want the superintendent, the new black superintendent. She doesn't want it. She's like, yo. So she said, we tried that before and it didn't work. So why should we go through that again?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't know.
What solutions they're going to come up with? That's just crazy. It's just, it's almost like you need more. You can say more of this and more of that. And what is going to help the solution? You can have 99 billion counselors there, but if the child is just a violent person, you can't do too much with that person. They need to go get their own help or therapy or something like that, through their parents or whatever, outside help.
Right.
But at one point, some schools, they were very selective in who could come to the school. So maybe these schools have to be more selective. I'm not saying being discriminatory, but be more selective of who you're picking to attend your school. That could cut back a lot of things. So.
Yeah, you're right about that. Okay.
I don't know. We'll continue to monitor, see what's going to happen.
I hope they come up with some kind of answer.
Yeah, they have to. The kids are suffering. Because I saw a rally recently that the kids were crying out, said we need help, from counselors to whatever, because we need help, because there was a lot of mental health issues there in the schools. So, I don't know. Got to do something. Well, look, whatever happened to home training? Your mom and dad come up to school and whip your behind. Right, Papa?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Knock you upside your head. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The parents used to come up to the school, give you that look, or whip your behind in class, and the teacher or the principal wouldn't say nothing.
That's right.
So, now it's like you can't touch your own child. You're going to go to jail yourself.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, I brought them in here, I can take them out. So you want to take me to jail? Hey, come on.
Yeah, you know what? That's what these parents tell these kids now. They be like Erykah Badu, say you can call 911 if you want, but you can't use my phone.
Yeah, I think the wrath of God and the fear of that parent, we need to work on that. So that would stop a lot of this craziness. That's my opinion. I'm sticking with it.
Right. Okay. All right. Down to you, Poppa DD. What's going on with the housing market?
Man, that's a sad tale. I tell you, it's I wish I was in a position to call a bluff, because I tell you, boy, it's just sad, And we, people should have seen it coming, but nobody paid it no mind. And if you ever go downtown, I wouldn't even say not downtown D.C., just come into D.C. Come into D.C. the regular way. I mean, there's a lot of ways to get into D.C., but coming in from the Maryland area over Route 50 West, and you come down, straight past the side, welcome to D.C., and you come down, and it's got that big, I forget the name of that hotel over on the right-hand side, some kind of motor lodge or something. Mm-hmm. But you cross, what's it called, Bladensburg Avenue, and as soon as you go down further New York Avenue and you cross the bridge on New York Avenue, you come down to Florida Avenue on the corner right there where the Wendy's was. They about to knock that down. They got a ATF over there. And you make a left, but you can't make a left. But when you can make a left on Florida Avenue and go into that area of Florida and K Street and all that and look at all the high-rises that are being built or have been built over the last 10 years. But the situation on all those high-rises, and I mean big-ass high-rises, it looked like a college campus over there. Mm. It's unbelievable. I mean, and I've been over here for years. And I'm talking about, they started building this stuff. I mean, I first started going around 2009. Late 2008, 2009, when they first started building the one called the Senate, which was right behind the railroad tracks on 2nd Street, 2nd and I, one block from K there. That was the first one called the Senate building, and they used to sell those some of those things in there. But then they started building all these ones around. These were big lots as you're building. And then they started taking half of the little street away and building different stuff there. And what I'm getting at is that they lease all this. Now they got like 9 or 10 high-rise buildings right there, 2nd and 3rd and K, where all these big and they're all being leased. And if you ride around that area, K, I, even going the other way, can get my alphabets together here. What is it? Not H. Got H-I-K, Anyway, but that whole area around 3rd, 4th, and K, up around the area where the entrance of the metro for the, what's that area called? They changed the name. It's called, it's over there, what they call it now? Noma and all that. Yeah. All these huge high-rises, and they're all being leased. And folks that are just out of college are buying them places like crazy. They fill up as fast as they're being built. But here's the drawback. Now, while you're in there at 22, 23 years old, fresh out of college, got you a job downtown D.C. making about $224,000 a year. Okay? Now, the people leasing these these buildings and all, they're leasing those apartments up there, and they got great roofs, you could views, and they got different parties on Friday night up there, and they got weight rooms that you can see when you ride by. You can look in and see the treadmills and everything. You know, you're allowed to bring your dog in there.
Mm-hmm. You
know, and you want to come out and go somewhere, you can rent a little bike, little orange bikes they got. You can rent the little rider moped, what do you call it, a little rider scooter and all that. But here's the drawback. Now, these people are between 22 and 25 years old, okay? And they're loving it. They pay like $3,000 for their rent, and they got all the Uber and Lyft just lives off of that. They're like ducks in the cemetery sucking up, worms. You know what I'm saying? So you go out back over there by the Second and I, Third and I, or K, and all you see all day in the morning, first thing in the morning, is Lyft and Uber. Thousands of them. I mean, it's crazy. Because they go right down the street, $8, $10, yada, 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 whatever. Anyway, the point I'm making is that these people spend like $2,200 to $2,500 a month to live in these tall buildings. Thousands of yuppies, black, white, indifferent. And they walk their dogs out there and they greet each other. But here's the drawback now. By the time they turn 26, 27 years old, they feel like they want to buy a house now. But what's happening now in 2022? There's no houses left. The houses are gone. Corporate investment companies are buying houses everywhere. Cash money. No inspection, we'll buy it. That's why you got people asking you every day, want to sell your house? Want to sell your house? Want to sell your house? They're buying these houses and they send somebody in there to give it a quick fix, and they rent it. And they're renting, leasing is almost as more prevalent as hotels today. And it's crazy because nobody has nowhere to live. So now when people, first-time home buyers, even going in as a couple.
Right.
With two incomes. It was on the news that people were paying $40,000, $50,000 over the asking price in order to get this house. Not to mention waiving the inspection. Like places like Pillar to Post, places that inspect your roof and all that stuff. These people buying these houses without an inspection. That means that you can have mold, scabies, termites, anything up in that joint. And people are buying it for $60,000, $70,000 over the asking price.
Yeah. Without
inspection. I mean, I'm telling you right now, the housing market is unbelievable. Where the same people, yuppie, let's say white folks, that are fresh out of college and leasing downtown D.C. fresh out of college, are being sucker punched when they turn 27, 28 years old by corporate white folks that now want to Shanghai them on buying a house. So in the world, when it comes to race and all that, who's really getting over? Who can trust who?
That's a good question.
Everybody's screwing everybody. But they want to front the game like they into some kind of the fact that we're both Republicans, that we're united. But on the other level, the corporate, investors are just savages because they ain't got to see none of it. They just sit back and collect the money. They ain't got to see the heartbreak, the heartache, the pain. People and these people got credit scores of 750, 780, 800. Credit ain't a problem. It's just not available.
Yeah, you can't buy what doesn't exist.
But now, who is selling all the houses? All these little jokers is over in Maryland now, building all these high-ass townhouses. Okay? For $500,000 for a damn townhouse. Your average run-of-the-mill, what they call the cookie cutters, cookie cutter townhouses that all look alike. Every house walks and talks and looks alike. Man, if you're drunk, you fuck around going to the wrong house because they look so much alike. You ever see these townhouses? Some of them look like Botsy twins. But I'm saying this here, to close out on this particular subject is the fact that the housing market right now is flipped upside down. And a house that I have, that if I was in a position where I had to hold it for a little while to finish doing what I need to do and get it like I want, as far as cleaned out like I wanted, what have you, I would jump in that market. I'd sell my shit in a minute. If somebody gonna give me over $50,000-$60,000 for what I want, but
over the asking price.
Over the asking price, but when you do sell it for that amount, you need to be ready to go. Don't say, well, give me 5 months to move out. You need to empty that house. I mean, empty that monkey and have it ready. When that house is empty and ready and you got everything in perspective and you done, then you go out there and do your dealing. And when somebody gives you that house that you selling and you wanted $400,000 and they gave you $550,000, $150 extra, you better run for the goddamn hills.
I know that's right.
And get out of sight, out of mind, and that's where we are right now.
Yeah, they say that people are competing to buy a house. You know, it's like, when did this start?
And the people selling them are laughing all the way to the bank. It is crazy.
Because people are putting a contract on a house. Say if it's $300,000, you put a $300,000 contract, and then somebody else comes behind and tells the owner, "I'll give you $310,000 for it."
Shit,
and then the owner goes,
I'll give you
"Well,
$350,000.
let me finish." They say, "I'll give you $310,000." Then the owner goes back and says to the person who put $300,000, "Oh, I'm so sorry, someone offered me more." They like, "How much more?" "Well, I'll give you $340,000 for it." Now they go back to that person. "Oh, well, I'm sorry, the second deal, I gotta let you go. They offered me $340,000. I'll give you $370,000. I mean, that's what's going on for real. People are outbidding each other. So the people who originally thought, "Oh, we finally found a house," you got nothing but the lint in your pocket because somebody else will start outbidding you. And the owner is like, "I got no loyalty to any of y'all. I'm looking for who's got the most money and wants this house, and the deal can go through."
But you know what, though? The drawback of all of the deals, like I said earlier, if I'm the owner, I don't want to be involved in that too long or too heavy. And I'm not going to say, you give me this, you give me that, you give me. I'm not going to play ping pong with them. I'm going to put a price out that it's going to hook me up. And the first one to come up with it, I'm going to give it to them. But I'm not going to play that game because crazy motherfuckers.
But no, that's what I'm saying. The owners usually are not the ones doing it. It's the buyers. The buyers are so determined, like, "I don't want to let this one slip through my fingers."
Yeah, but it's up to the owner, though. But it's up to the owner to kill the deal. The owner got the power.
Right.
They own
the house.
But
I'm
just
saying the owners are not the ones usually instigating it. They just get caught up in the middle. And
yeah,
you're right.
but they
At
can
some
put the
point,
brakes on all that
say,
shit.
No.
They can put the brakes on. But, yeah, like I said, just wrap up the story. I don't know if y'all have a comment on it, but it all starts, like I said, in all these big high-rises over in D.C. We use D.C. as an example because all the young yuppies are flooding in D.C. Because there's plenty of jobs here, especially in them little worlds with a little computer chip that go in the cars and stuff. They're making factories that young people with degrees are going there and they're making chips all day. It's very interesting,
Yeah, it's becoming a problem all over the country.
Yeah, but D.C. is one of the biggest hubs that does all. Everywhere you look, it says leasing. Big old beautiful building. Now leasing. Nobody ain't selling nothing no more. It's crazy.
But those apartments or townhomes or whatever, they're only leasing for 2 years in D.C. And that's it.
Really?
After 2 years, you have to move on. So they don't have anybody that's there 10, 20, 30 years because you're more of a headache and I can't raise your rent. So if a person leases for 2 years and the next person come in, I can raise the rent $100. They won't know.
Yeah, they want the new suckers to come along. Well, hopefully after 2 years, people will be ready to go out and lease and grow up, as they say. At least they should be growing up after 2 years.
Right. I was going to add to your story. I was in an Uber the other day and riding by some homes over there where I used to live at, and in the Riggs Park area, and they're building homes $600,000. They're starting in the upper $600,000. And so the foreign guy asked me, he said, those houses for sale, the houses are made out of wood? I said, yeah, that's how they start. And they're selling for $600,000. He said, wow. He was blown away because he said in his country, they don't use wood. They use other materials. I said, yeah, hey, the walls are thin, and if a tornado comes through, you might still have a home. Or if a fire breaks out, that's why they burn up so fast. It's just ridiculous. there should be a law that a certain percentage should be steel or another material other than wood.
Yeah.
Because that does help, like, cut down on fires and stuff. So.
Yeah, the frame.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Like you just said.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that area, and I can't imagine anything over there being worth $600,000 or anything close.
But the crazy part about it is, it used to be a KFC up there. The KFC is gone, and you know who's getting ready to move in, so they put a Chick-fil-A there. I just thought that was the funniest thing.
Wow. Okay,
chicken is chicken,
I see what they do.
Yeah.
They do like those Chick-fil-A's.
Yeah, they do. So, all right. Well, speaking of food, I guess we need a drink to wash it down with, right?
Yeah, absolutely. After all that crazy with the housing market. What you got for us this week, Kevin? It's time for the cocktail of the week with Ketel.
All right, thank you for the intro, Redwine. This is called the Bourbon Swizzle, SWIZZLE, the Swizzle. This is a bartender's favorite. The Bourbon Swizzle gives you a dazzling blend of sweet and bitter tones, and Bullet Bourbon provides bold and satisfying spirit base. So our ingredients are 1.3 ounces of Bullet Bourbon, which I like. It's very good. 1 ounce of lemon juice, 0.75 ounces of simple syrup, 0.25 ounces of ginger syrup, which sounds pretty good. 3 mint sprigs. That's for you, Papa. 3 dashes of aromatic bitters, and 3 dashes of the Picard bitters. We're going to put all those ingredients into we need a highball glass, a jigger, a knife, and a swizzle stick. Okay.
Oh,
so,
we're going to swizzle.
We're going to dry shake, pour into a highball glass, top with ice and swizzle, keeping the mint in the bottom and top with more crushed ice. Garnish with 3 dashes each of aromatic and the Picard bitters, a mint sprig, and the candied ginger. It sounds delicious, and it looks delicious. It looks like it has 3 layers on it. So.
Aha. So you said the mint is at the bottom?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
The mint is at the bottom. Yep. So.
Well, that sounds absolutely delicious. And this is called what again?
Bourbon Swizzle. 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 Jizzle?
Okay. Yeah, I like it. All right. Well, we'll make sure that sometime over the weekend, we'll make sure we get the recipe and the picture of it up on the website, which you can find at apajamaparty.com. And when you get there, click on the cocktail of the week, and you can check out the Bourbon Swizzle made with Bullet Bourbon with the candied gingers and everything that Ketel just described. I tell you, that thing sounds nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Thank you, Ketel. That was a good one. I would like to try that. They say bartenders like making it. I'm going to have to ask one. Tell them, let me get a Bourbon Swizzle, please, and make sure you swizzle it. Okay, thank you so much. Poppa DD, it's your turn. What's poppin'?
Well, I was going to go in hard on not just young people, but unaware people. And I was going to say that they're unaware or uninformed, but I'll change it to, because everybody strolls, or it used to be called, surfing the web.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Now it's called, strolling or
swiping
or, same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You still surfing the damn web. And that's what the term was back in the day. But what I was saying, I can't even say young people, because even people of age, it comes to, like, what are you actually looking at? You know, and what grabs your attention? You know, because if you look at some of these late night shows, you see where they go like on Hollywood Avenue or what's it called, Hollywood Boulevard, and they ask young people certain questions about stuff going on today. Like I think Jimmy Kimmel does it. And they say, well, what do you think about the such? And they want to answer like they're smart, you know. And they'll come back and give an answer that is so off base on what's happening with Ukraine or whatever, you know. But make a long story short, it's like a lot of people just aren't even aware of what's happening in the world. Or a lot of people aren't even aware of what's happening outside their damn front door. You know? I mean, only because they're not looking at news that has anything to do with the world. You know? They could be all into the E channel, you know what I mean? Where they're watching, what's some different shows on there? Love and Marriage, and I mean,
the Housewives,
love and hip hop, and you know, they don't go past. They don't stop at the news.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not. Now this is if they have cable, because some people of a certain age or a certain group or a certain, you know, they living off the smart TV. As long as they got the web. But they got everything but local channels.
Yeah, they streaming.
So they're streaming. They got Hulu and Hubo and Hobo and Hobby and Skeeby Obby and Sling and Wing and the whole nine. But nothing to tell them that the damn world's coming to an end or that Russia just dropped a goddamn bomb and telling them that you got 5 minutes to bend down, pucker up your lips, and kiss your ass goodbye. They wouldn't even know how to kiss their ass, you know. I mean, it almost reminds you of that movie, what's it called? Don't Look Up?
Oh, yeah.
The one that just was out. How the people at the end just sat down and had dinner while they saw the world coming to an end like it did. And, you know, people are just uninformed. They're just not. I mean, I've talked to a lot of young people, and I'll bring up the subject about Ukraine or, you know, and I draw blanks. And not that they need to be, I don't want them to be completely educated on it, but they're so out of touch with it, it's unbelievable. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, yes, and did you hear about the hurricane that went through town, your town? You can call somebody who lives in a certain town and saying, wow, how did you guys fare against that tornado? What tornado? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, what hurricane? If it didn't smack their front door, they don't have a fucking clue. So, I don't know if y'all got a comment on that. Do you know anybody like that that's ain't got a clue about what the hell going on?
I do know a few. I got one for you to add to it.
They remain nameless?
Yeah, I'm not going to out them, but I'll just say this person is in the 30s range, and there were some fires, brush fires or something, near them. Where they live in their city.
Near their home?
Yeah. In the city, like they live in one of the suburbs of a major city. The fires were in those little suburb areas, but I mean, fire blows. Yeah. Because it's all because of dry brush and stuff. So anyway, when I asked them, had they seen the smoke or were they aware? Were you all right? That kind of stuff. They were like, what fires? I said, these were major brush fires. They were all over the place there. And they were like, nope, I don't know anything about it. And then they told me, well, I said, well, you don't check these things on the news? You didn't hear anything? They said, well, you know, I don't really look at the news, but if something major were to happen, I would get one of those emergency alerts like the Amber Alert. You know, those things that hit your phone all loud. That
so
stuff.
If they don't get an alert, they don't know.
They won't know. I said, okay. I hope that works out for you because that's kind of frightening. That's my story on it.
All right. Well, I just wanted to put that out there to let you know that there are people in this world that are so unaware of what's happening right outside. It's same with different incidents in the news. You can call somebody to live in a neighborhood where somebody just got shot or something 2 blocks from them. What about you hear about that killing? They killed 2 people over there in your neighborhood? No, I ain't hear nothing. You didn't hear nothing.
Oh, they say, oh, is that why the cops were over this way?
Yeah, I saw some police this morning. I didn't know what was about.
But I think people are just interested. They don't want to go investigate. They're not interested. They're just in their own bubble, their own world. They don't give a shit about what goes on after.
But what is
probably?
Yeah,
The world is nothing. So they want to keep it that way. They want to keep it simple, should I say. They don't want to complicate things. And my thing is you should at least know your surroundings, your immediate area, what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
You would think.
Most definitely.
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah.
I had somebody tell me one time, I don't watch the news, but I do get a lot of news and information. And I said, from where? They said the Shade Room on Instagram.
What?
I said, wait a minute, The Shade Room.
What does that mean?
It's a channel on Instagram where people just talk.
Oh, you like doing?
It's like a TV show, but it's on Instagram, like a gossip kind of thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, are you kidding me? You depend on the Shade Room as a news source? And I said to them, well, where do you think the Shade Room gets their news from? Did that ever cross your mind? I'm like, they get it from the actual news source. And by the time they get it and talk smack around it, it's no telling what version you're going to get of the truth. I mean, no shade to the Shade Room, but I'm just saying, it's the Shade Room. Okay.
Yep, okay.
What are you whistling over here?
I'm whistling the Star Trek theme song.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Da, 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 da.
Okay. Papa DD's gone to Star Trek. I know. Wow. It's like being in a whole new universe.
Yeah.
Where no man or woman has gone before.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and it makes you wonder, are you too overzealous with news, or are you too aware? Or, you ever make people make you feel like that? They you be trying to inform people about news and stories and situations. You kind of feel like, damn, am I watching the news too much? Or what the hell, what's going on here? Why am I being so aware and this person don't do shit?
They waiting on the Shade Room to tell them what's going on.
I just think, like you said, Ketel, some people they living the life that they living, and ain't nothing going to knock them off of that line that they walk in. They walk straight down the center line of the pavement.
There you go.
You're right.
Okay.
Well, it's time to lighten it up.
Yeah.
All right. I think we lit it up already.
All of that was weird, too, but we're going to go to the weird news. And I got one for you about some lettuce. Scientists have genetically modified lettuce so it can be grown in space. This is a genetically modified lettuce has been created, which could transform missions to Mars by protecting astronauts against osteoporosis. I'm trying to understand the connection, but okay. The GM lettuce, that's genetically modified, GM lettuce can be grown in space from miniature seeds, and it's the same as typical earth-grown lettuce, except that it incorporates a human gene. Now, that already sounds like something that I would not want to eat. You're incorporating a human gene in this lettuce. Okay. It produces a hormone that stimulates bone formation, helping to restore bone mass loss that occurs in microgravity, according to researchers from the University of California. I don't know if you guys remember when the brothers that are twins, I forgot their names, that were astronauts that recently were in space. One of them went to space and one of them stayed on Earth. And the one that was in space, when he came back, he was actually shorter than his brother, and he was at the same height when he left. And they've been saying that when you stay in space a certain amount of time, you lose bone density or something. So I guess, so they're trying to, replace that bones so that to fight against osteoporosis by genetically modifying this lettuce that they say they can actually grow in space. So they won't be carrying a whole crate of lettuce. They're going to take the seeds, which are very small, and then they'll grow it in space. So however long it takes to get to Mars, if they don't have anything else, sounds like they'll have lettuce.
They gonna have any salad dressing to go with it?
You know, they didn't mention that. Sounds like a whole lot of lettuce to me.
All right.
But they're saying they'll be able to use the plants after they grow to synthesize pharmaceuticals. I guess because of that gene that's in it. So they'll be able to create different type medicines or something that they'll be able to, you know, eat these plants. So I don't know. It sounds like they got a whole lot of weird stuff figured out. But I would not be the first in line to say, all right, let me make a salad out of that.
Mhm. Okay,
that's my weird news.
Okay.
All right, over to you, Kevin.
This woman says Coors paid her $1,000 to dream. Okay. It looks like at least one corporation may finally have reached the ultimate marketing frontier, advertising to us in our dreams. According to Hustler, one woman says she took part in a Coors experiment that successfully infiltrated her dreams with advertisements for the domestic brewery. Travel writer Bobby Gold told the Hustler that she responded to a strange Craigslist ad claiming that a big brand was willing to pay $1,000 for willing sleepers. Gold and her boyfriend responded to the ad and were directed to a warehouse in Los Angeles where more than a dozen other volunteers were hooked up to brain monitoring equipment as marketers from Molson Coors looked on. So Gold and the other subjects were directed to watch a video that featured Coors products and waterfalls and jungle landscapes, and instructed to try to doze off while listening to the audio from the video they just watched. So for the next 8 hours, the travel writer said she did, in fact, have a series of weird Coors dreams. After the dreaming session, the travel writer said she and her fellow subjects were shepherded into a focus group where they were made to discuss the experience, which she said made them feel like lab rats. So they were trying to implant Coors into our brains. It just didn't really sit well, she said. So, okay, interesting. Crazy.
That's some crazy stuff.
Sound like those, what they call subliminal messages, whatever, that they advertisers try to continue to do. So I guess they were trying to do it through wavelengths and dreams, I guess. I don't know. It sounds crazy.
I guess, but that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So she said she actually had dreams that Coors was in the dreams?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, for 8 hours, that's all you're looking at. I mean, what you think?
Yeah, Coors and jungle and waterfalls. I guess so. That's wild.
Yeah, that's what I said.
But they got paid.
They got paid, so my $1,000.
Okie dokie. All right. All right, Poppa DD. What's your weird news?
I got a man builds a 100-foot limo with a swimming pool and a helo pad. Wow.
100 feet?
100 foot. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Okay, so what happened with it?
It's 100 feet or 100 yards. They say I'm reading 100 feet, but it doesn't seem like 100 yards would be a little further than.
No.
Because it takes 3 feet to make a yard. So if they think it was that big with a swimming pool and a helo pad, it must be 100 yards, like the size of a football field. 100 feet is only, But anyway, the last time a stretch limo set the record for the world's longest car, the show Knight Rider was still on TV. Ronald Reagan was in the White House, and the Soviet Union was still considered in world affairs. That was 1986. Damn, that was a long time ago.
Okay.
Okay. But buckle up, because March 1st, 2022, which is only a few weeks ago, one New York native rolled out the even longer limousine and set a new Guinness World Record. I wish there was a picture of this thing. Long Island resident, his name is Mike Manning. I wonder if he's related to Eli and Peyton. Anyway, 61 years old, who's been working on cars since childhood. He paired with Orlando's, what is it called? Disneyland Action Park to pull off the project. I never heard that before. Disneyland. The record-setting stretch measured 100 feet, 100 feet, 1.5 inches, breaking the previous record by a slim inch and a half. Okay, that's how he did it, by an inch and a half. It goes on and on forever, they said. Okay, now. Okay, I did see a picture of it. All right. So, the car, sporting 26 wheels, is fully loaded with over-the-top luxuries, including a swimming pool, jacuzzi, putting green, waterbed, seating for over 75 people, and a functioning helipad. Wow, okay. Which they successfully tested with a real helicopter. Okay, the limo was built like a bridge from 6 separate Eldorados in 1986, and actually in the same record-setting vehicle as last time, only it was lifting by fully restoring by Manning and his small team in partnership with that place called Disneyland. They must have access to all kind of fancy stuff. Okay, as for further usage, the Stretch Eldorado single has a V8 engine with a 427 Cadillac engine, has more than enough horsepower to haul a front-wheel drive limo, 25,000 to 30,000 pounds, but it's not on the road. Okay, the length is too long for any street to legally drive on, so it just kind of sits there and just boasts of the stuff that it could do. So it doesn't really go up and down the street like it does. It has the capability and the engine and all. I guess they could move it a couple feet back and forth. But,
I guess.
They don't really venture down the street because you may have to turn a corner.
Yeah, I guess you can't make a turn in something that long.
No. So
they took Stretch Limo to a whole nother level.
So
and
right now,
a pool on it?
Yeah, it's got a pool, it's got a water bed, it's got a jacuzzi, it's got all kind of stuff.
So I guess you could just live on this thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty weird. Okay. Well, that's why it's the weird news. We find them for you. We can't make this stuff up.
Nope.
They got a picture of it, too, if you go online and look for a largest limo.
Wow.
It's now been certified by Guinness's Book of World Records?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Well, congrats to Mr. Manning. Okay. I'm ready for I'm Just Saying.
All right. Well, you going to make a move?
I am.
All
I am.
So stand by for Redwine, but I'm just saying. Go for it.
Merci beaucoup, Poppa DD. All right, tonight, I'm just saying, you revealed yourself. And we know how that happens. If you let folk talk long enough, they will reveal themselves. So, starting out talking about the Supreme Court hearings with Ketanji Brown Jackson. These confirmation hearings have devolved into a festival of racist dog whistles, so much so that Republican senators that aren't even on the Judicial Committee are trying to get in on it. Now, there's only certain people that are part of this committee, but you got some of these folk that just can't help themselves. They're trying to get in on the action. People like, for example, Senator Mike Braun, Republican from Indiana, who has revealed himself. He went so far as to tell reporters on Tuesday of this week that he does not believe interracial marriage should be legal nationwide. Now, he told this to a reporter. He just revealed himself. Then he tried to walk back the comment, claiming that he didn't understand the reporter's question. I'm like, wait a minute. You said out of your mouth you didn't believe interracial marriage should be legal in the country. Then you try to walk it back claiming, I didn't understand what the reporter was asking me. So I guess now it's the reporter's fault, right? Whatever. So Braun was asked by the reporter. He said, you would be okay with the Supreme Court leaving the issue of interracial marriage to the states? That's what the reporter asked him. And Braun replied, yes, if you are not wanting the Supreme Court to weigh in on issues like that, you are not going to be able to have your cake and eat it too. So these remarks came after Braun told reporters that he did not want a Supreme Court justice who was a so-called activist, and that the court's decision on Roe versus Wade was an example of such activism. So I guess he feels like if you have an opinion, now you're an activist. So that was Braun's remark regarding Roe v. Wade. But then Braun also said such issues should be left up to the states. And he was referring to Roe versus Wade, which has to do with abortion. And he said that striking down Roe would bring it back to a neutral point to where the issue should have never been federalized. And that's what prompted the reporter to ask the question in the first place about how he felt about interracial marriage, which was legalized all the way back in 1967. And then Braun again said yes. Then he tried again to walk back what he said. He said there's no question that the Constitution prohibits discrimination of any kind based on race, and this is not something up for debate. I condemn racism in any form. See, now he's trying to clean up what he said. But he really did say that he felt that interracial marriage should never have been legalized nationwide. Now, what's really interesting about that is the fact that Miss Ketanji Brown Jackson is married to a white man. Her husband's name is Patrick. She introduced Patrick during the hearing. I'm not sure which day she did it, but she introduced her husband saying that he was her best friend, love of her life, and, et cetera, et cetera. She gave her white husband his props. And now here you have this guy, Mike Braun in Indiana, talking about basically saying if he had his way, interracial marriage would have never been legalized in the first place. So it's already clear that he will not be voting in favor of Ketanji Brown Jackson becoming a Supreme Court justice. But the point I'm making is that once you open your mouth and speak your truth, you have revealed yourself. Trying to walk it back is a waste of time. If you are a Confederate flag waving racist, I would have more respect for you if you just say, that's who I am. That's who I am, and that's how I roll. Because then at least I know who I'm dealing with. But these people who try to do this stuff in secret, or it slips out because somebody asked you a question and you got in your feelings and answered honestly, and then when you realize, oops, I just revealed myself, let me try to walk that back and fix it up. Ain't nobody got time for that. Be for real. Be who you are. If you're a jughead, be a jughead. If you're a dickhead, be a dickhead. But all this trying to walk back stuff, dude, Mike Braun, Republican from Indiana, you're on the kiss it list. You revealed yourself, and now we all know you have a problem with interracial marriage. You already said so, and you can't walk it back. So don't try. We know who you are now. Thank you for the truth. Racist jerk. So I'm putting Mike Braun, Republican from Indiana, on the kiss it list. Racist alert.
Well, Indiana's where the pan got started.
Yes, I'm aware. That's what I'm saying.
But how do you make a statement like that in 2022?
Like I said, if that's who you are, it's going to come out.
No, but I'm just saying, you have been holding on to something for a long time to make a statement about interracial marriages in 2022. I mean, you are so late to that game.
Exactly. It's so many other issues that have come about since then. This became legal in this country back in '67.
Well, I don't even
Why
think that
is he even still talking about
But
that?
I don't even think that he's even on that side of it, to be honest with you. I don't think he minds a black woman being married to a white guy. I think he's pissed off at the other way around. If it was a black guy married to a white woman, I think that is his real hang-up with it, for real. So, anyway, I think that's really would really piss him off. Anyway,
all right,
let's move on.
Living for the city.
You know what I want to talk about on this segment here is the job market today. That's another subject that is really interesting because just like the housing market, that's gone belly up. But the reason why it's still surviving and the job people don't have to really reveal how desperate they are is because people that's putting in for jobs are still falling for anything. They still falling for the okie doke when they go to apply for a job. When you go to apply for a job today, they're still going to try to jockey you and act like, okay, well, we'll call you and you interview and we're interested, we'll call you back. Knowing damn well they need you like crazy. I've never been in stores lately, whether it be Lowe's or Home Depot or any place out there where you got the ability for 10 registers to be open and it's only 2 open. Mm-hmm. You walk around a store and there's nobody wearing a uniform, or you see one person way over here somewhere. Hey, can I help you? Can I help you? Can I help you? Because there's nobody available. And then when you ask somebody, they don't even know. They don't know. Mm-hmm. So it's just, it's really sad how the job market is just, because, see, they still don't want to give up what they need to give up. That's the problem with them. They don't want to give up benefits, If you're not going to give up proper cash, how about giving up benefits? And a lot of these jobs never gave up benefits. And people have been falling for that game forever. And now that there's nobody available, they still won't offer benefits. They'll raise the pay. Oh, we're going up to $17 an hour. We're going $18 an hour, $16 an hour. But, when you need some medical. Mm-hmm. You need some dental. You need some vision. And it'd be nice to have a matching 401k or some kind of profit sharing.
Well.
Or something that's, but a lot of these jobs, it costs money for a job to have that to offer to you. Okay? And then you got jobs now that don't want to hire but so many employees so they don't have that obligation. What's it? If you got more than such and such employees, you got to provide this and that, Mm-hmm. And a lot of people keep it down. You got to have at least 25 employees in order to provide medical or whatever. They'll keep it at 22, 23. They will never officially hire 25 people. And people fall for it. And a lot of young people that got a couple kids are working in these restaurants and stuff. You got a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old and no medical. And they working, they carrying these heavy ashtrays across the floor at Olive Garden and Outback.
Yeah.
Ruby Tuesdays.
Mm-hmm. They
got trays and trays. They're servers, and they're walking with your little tray. They got 3 orders in their hand, which they could fall, bust their ass, hot tea fall in their face, on their legs, and their arms, or whatever, and they ain't got a drop of fucking insurance. And the store Outback and all these places, or what's that place called? Not Outback. The other joint that's got a song by it. What a country guy sings about.
Applebee's.
Applebee's. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Applebee's don't give a damn about you having no insurance at all. And you're carrying out tray after tray, plate after plate, hot coffee, this and that, latte, you name it. Mm-hmm. Then you go back in the kitchen, and Lord knows it's probably slippery as hell back there. They probably got everything on the floor back there from pudding to fucking beans. Ooh. Everything in between. You see some of the floors in the restaurant, mm-hmm. You can ice skate on the motherfuckers. There's so much shit on the floor that people ain't cleaned up. Mm-hmm. And it's just, and I just want to, just in closing with that, I just want to say that the job market is a mess, and just like the housing market, the job market is the next entity to be revealed because they've got to start giving up some shit to get people. And they got to start passing laws where they can hire people with felons and everything in order to get people in the market. Because a lot of people come out of jail as soon as they check that box. Have you been convicted of a felony? Yes or no? They click the yes button and boom.
Yeah.
Their fucking application gets thrown in the trash. Then if you lie about it and they find out, now they get you for perjury and they fire you on the spot. So what do you do? But you need these people. You know, I mean, it's, you know, we'll stay tuned and we'll look out, but that job market is a mess.
Yeah, it's rough out there. Rough.
I'm gonna chime in 1 second. That was good, Papa, but lately I've been seeing a lot of jobs available. And it's like everybody's offering different things, $15, $16, $17, plus signing bonuses. So there's jobs out here. It just depends on, you know, which ones has benefits. You have to pick and choose, you know. So.
Yeah, that benefit, though, to me, I mean, everybody has what they, you know, want to go after. Maybe you get your benefits somewhere else or from a spouse or whatever the case may be, but I don't know. Me personally, I've always been a benefit guy when it comes to a job. I said, fuck it, I need my shit, and but anyway, some people, a lot of young people just don't go for that. It don't bother them.
But see, they don't look at the whole picture. It's like we were just talking about. They don't care about what's going on around them. They don't think of the future. You know, I'm going to need something, you know, to help me along. They just want the money for right now. They're living for right now, so to speak. So.
Yeah, you're right.
But that's what we're here. We need to teach them, you know. That's all.
They're 24 years old and they're indispensable.
Yeah, they say they're going to live forever.
Yep, there you go. Well,
all right. When are you, Kevin? Time for the Hollywood wrap-up?
Come on, Papa.
No break. Okay, all right. Hollywood. Hollywood.
All right.
Take it away.
Spin it, Kevin.
What we got going on out there?
Anthony Mackie buys 20 acres of land in New Orleans to build film and TV studio. Kudos to him.
Wow.
Celebrated actor Anthony Mackie is getting ahead of his role as the next Captain America. Is making business moves that will not only benefit his acting career but also provide jobs for many of his hometown New Orleans folks. Kudos to him. Yeah. So he's been in the works on this deal for about a year, and he finally finalized things today. So I was like, wow, that's on point. You know, he's done films with Spike Lee, quite a bit of films with him. He's done Eagle Eyes, Hurt Locker, Manchurian Candidate. Oh, that's my joint right there. So he's a well-known actor, but kudos to him. You know, these actors out here that have all this money or making all this money, do something productive with that money. You know, don't let just the Tyler Perrys and the Oprahs, you know, do their thing. You know, other actors need to jump on the bandwagon. So kudos to him. So that should be interesting. Yeah. Also, Beyonce is going to perform the song from King Richard at the Oscars. She may be the opening act. I didn't realize Beyonce was 40. Man, okay. They put all her business out there. Some of the 40-year-old, singer, actress, the triple threat. She's going to probably open the show. Like, okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Also, Trevor Noah, he's in some hot water. And I think they took things out of context. Trevor says it was never his intention to cancel Kanye, but he said he needs counseling. He wanted to counsel Kanye. So, you know, I think the news media, they got it incorrectly, and they just started this frenzy of just people talking about nothing. So that's my opinion on it. And they claim that, Trevor's in hot water. He started this rumor. BS. That's the damn media started that rumor. I just don't believe everything that they tell you. Also, Taraji P. Henson. She defends Jussie Smollett. I wish that would just go away. But she claims the punishment does not fit the crime. So, but my opinion, I think she had something to do with this. She probably paid some folks off to get him out because he only did, I don't even think he did 1 day in jail. So,
yeah, I think it was only like 2, 3, something like that. It wasn't many.
He paid that fine.
Oh, that's
remember he had a fine that he had to pay?
Yeah, it was.
And they probably thought they would take them forever to pay that fine. And when that money came up, they said, "Well, look, we're gonna let you out of here."
Yeah,
he paid that $15,000 and got out.
Was it 15?
Right,
it
was
$15,000.
No, it was 120,000.
No, it was more than that. Right? Yeah, it was more than that.
Yeah,
I thought that fine was only $15,000 that he paid.
No. It was in the
He had to pay that fine, which was 100. Yeah,
he was ordered to pay $120,000 in restitution and $25,000 in fines.
Right,
He was
exactly.
supposed to be sentenced for 150 days at least, but he might have did 1 or 2 days. He didn't do much, so.
But what he paid was bail. He made bail and got out. He didn't pay the whole amount.
Yeah, but they called it that. But he also probably took care of all the expenses he had with Chicago.
I don't know. The amount they said was something like $15,000 because his lawyer is still appealing the whole case. So he's only out while the appeal is going on. If they lose their appeal, he's going back to jail, and they said the sentence will start all over at day 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I see. I don't think he's going to do any jail time. I think Taraji, she kind of put her 2 cents in, and I think she's working with, trying to work with him, keeping him out of jail. So we'll just continue to follow that story, yeah. Hey, when you got big money like that, hey. Did you guys ever watch College Hill? This new, this is a reboot. And guess who the cast is? Ray J, Nene Leakes, and Lamar Odom. What a flop. Why are y'all doing this? Why? College Hill is a reality television series on BET that follows the lives of students at historically black colleges. Are y'all students? Come on now. Y'all trying to reboot this? Y'all not students? What the hell is going on?
That sounds real crazy to me.
That just doesn't make any sense. But I see Odom. He's getting his he's getting in there. He's doing a lot of reality shows. I noticed that.
I mean, what else can he do?
I guess you got a good point. After he left the Kardashians, right?
Yeah, because he can't play basketball anymore. So what else is he gonna do?
Right. Vivica Fox slams Laverne Cox for a quote-unquote tacky comment to Will and Jada. Will Smith had won his first SAG award, and Miss Thing was on the red carpet as a commentator for E! News, and she mentioned the entanglement situation. I mean, he has, Jada on his arm. He just won his first award, and here you come and talk about some entanglement shit. That was very tacky. So Vivica Fox called her out on it. And kudos to her, because that was uncalled for. Yeah, we've been down that road, entanglement road.
Yeah,
and
that was unnecessary.
Also, another versus battle. The rapper The Game wants to battle Eminem. It's not going to happen because Eminem will walk all over you, darling.
I was getting ready to say, Eminem will eat you alive without even having to wake up.
That's what I'm saying. He will. Yep, he will. He will. And last but not least, sorry to hear about the situation with Tracy Braxton. She had been battling cancer for a while, and she passed. I think that was last week. So our thoughts and prayers go out to the Braxton family because they're from Crownsville. Maryland, in this area.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right down the street. Yeah, it was a quiet battle. A lot of people didn't know, but hey, that's their thing. They wanted to keep it quiet. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's my Hollywood wrap up. Mhm.
All right, good one. Thank you so much.
Had
a lot of goodies in there. Goodies.
Mhm. Oh, and one more thing. Don't forget to watch our hometown girl. She is hosting the Oscars. Regina Hall. She's hosting with Amy Schumer and Wanda Sykes. So check that out on Sunday, and I will have a review the week after. But you guys got to check it out on Sunday. So the Oscars.
Okay. All right. Poppa DD, we're down to the Kiss It list. If you can please explain what the world-famous Kiss It list is all about, and we can tell everybody who's on it for this week.
All right, that's a list of the people that shot themselves in the foot over and over again over the last couple of weeks. We can start off with your boy, Clarence Thomas and his wife.
Yeah.
Put them down there.
Got the Thomases.
Tag 45 and his cronies along with her.
Yeah, as I call her, Poppa DD Jr. calls him Orange 45.
Yeah, we got to get a nickname for his cronies.
Yeah. Also, I have another random one, Dairy Queen. It just came to my attention. It just came to my attention this week that Dairy Queen, the soft serve ice cream that they serve is not actually ice cream.
What? It's ice milk?
It's like this. According to the USDA, in order for a food product to be called ice cream, it has to have at least 10% milk fat or butter fat, and Dairy Queen's soft serve only has 5% of one of those two. So according to USDA, it's really not ice cream. I don't know exactly what they call it, but they call it ice cream, really. But I'm just saying, y'all call it ice cream, but it's not really ice cream, so y'all liars. So I'm putting Dairy Queen on the Kiss It list for being liars.
Okay.
The Supreme Court. I'm putting the Supreme Court historically on the Kiss It list because since 1789, when the Supreme Court began, all but 7 of 115 justices have been white men.
Wow.
7 out of 115 were non-white men. I'm just saying, come on, y'all, for real.
Well, hopefully we won't change the narrative. So, all right.
Yeah, that'll be a different, different flavor, but dang, 7 out of 115. Come on. All those white men after all this time. We got Mike Lindell, my pillow guy. Mark Meadows. We already mentioned Virginia Thomas, Clarence Thomas's wife. Brian Kemp, the Republican governor in Georgia, for doing whatever he's doing, and the other folks that are blocking Stacey Abrams' candidacy or her fundraising ability. Mike Braun, the representative from Indiana, who said that he thinks that interracial marriages should have never been legalized. You racist piece of crap. Also, I got a white male teacher whose name was not released, but he got fired from a high school in Jacksonville, Florida, for cussing out the students. Yeah, these are high schoolers cussing out the students. One of the students recorded him, and he's just giving this whole speech about how I'm tired of playing. He said, I'm effing done with you idiots, and if you want to end up getting your checks based on my taxpayer dollars on the 1st and the 15th of the month, I don't effing care. He just went on and on talking all this kind of stuff. And the young lady who was recording the audio, she had her phone in her lap. She kept looking down at the phone and kind of covering her face. And then he said something like, oh, you think it's effing funny? Get out of my classroom. And that was the end of the recording. But at some point he said, if you, something like, you can end up on welfare. I don't give a I mean, he went in. just cussing out the kids. Oh, he said, you're here to get something from me. I need nothing from any of you. I mean, he just really went hard on those kids, but he's been fired, so.
Okay.
But he's still on the kiss it list, so. Let's see. That's everybody on my list. Anybody else?
Yeah, all these corporate investors buying all these houses around, you know, and over in them. They even on they're on the New York Stock Exchange. They have a public. I didn't get their name. I think it's called something begins with an L, but it's Luton or something. They're house investors buying houses all in Texas and Vegas and anywhere there's major market, because you know Vegas is big now because the football team is there, and Vegas is big. Period. So Vegas is really growing with the Raiders being there now and people going down there. I'm telling you, bringing that football team there. Oh my God,
money.
Now they just got that wide receiver from Green Bay to go there. So
let's see. Anybody else, Ketel? You have anybody else to add?
No, you guys hit everybody.
Okay. Oh, I forgot Ted Cruz for being a real butt toward Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Yeah, well, you know.
In those hearings, I mean, he just really showed off. And Lindsey Graham.
He's original penguin from
Lindsey
Batman.
Graham was so rude and condescending to her. And I'm so glad that some of the other senators, like, cut him off and basically told her, you do not have to answer that. You know, the stuff he was saying, it was crazy. The stuff that they can get away with is just ridiculous. I tell you what, they better be glad that she is a woman of dignity, that she didn't just, you know, really say something foul to get some of that stuff that they were saying. And she's trying to get a job, and she's a dignified person. So, anyway. Anybody else? Last call? Last call for Kiss It List. Last call for Kiss It List. All right, we got a special gift for everybody on this week's Kiss It List. And here it is.
Kiss my entire ass. Kiss my Irish ass. You better kiss my Irish ass. This world kiss my ass. Kiss my ass. You can just kiss my ass. Baby, you can just kiss my ass. Oh. Well, you can kiss my country ass. I said if you got a problem with any of that, you can kiss my natural born redneck to the bone, ever-loving country ass. That's right.
All right, welcome back to Pajama Party Crew. Who's Poppa DD? I'm here with Ketel
Hello.
and Redwine.
Bonsoir again, darling. It's now time for the last word. Over to you, Poppa DD. What's your last
My
word?
last word is, watch the news, stay informed. The president of North Korea, he's about to launch a missile. They claim they could reach Washington, D.C. and all kinds of stuff. This guy over in Ukraine is trying to get the United States to team up and give him everything. Damn, you want us to fight your damn war? Please. Man, but we ain't got a damn thing to do with you. Well, we need to, I may have an opinion on that shit, but he's asking for too fucking much. I'm like, yo, bruh, fuck all that. Ask somebody else for some shit. Anyway.
Okay.
But just be careful, be safe.
All right. My last word is for people like that Republican from Indiana who accidentally speak their own truth and reveal themselves, thank you very much. That's my last word. Over to you, Ketel.
That was short and sweet, I guess.
That's all I'm saying.
I guess those are the people we need to watch out for. Those are the ones that has the facade up or that are chameleons. Once they start talking, they'll reveal themselves. So that's what he did. And to Stacey Abrams, hey, keep going, girl, because you got it going on. And these white folks out here, they scared of you. I mean, I read her bio, and she comes from good stock. I mean, you know, her parents, hey, they instilled a lot in her, and hey, she's like, this is what I got to do. This is what I was born for. So I say kudos to her. Keep going.
That's right.
Going. All right.
Hello, Stacey.
So look, I'm not even in Georgia. I'll vote for. Shit.
I tell you. Call everybody you know in Georgia and tell them to vote for Stacey.
Yeah, I guess they're gonna excuse my language, but they probably gonna shit bricks if she decide to run for president of the United States.
Oh yeah, they'll really lose their mind.
Yes, they would. So you trying to stop her now? Guess what? Ain't no stopping me now.
That's right. She's on
my last word. Yeah.
All right. Well, we thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight. Sorry we weren't taking any calls, but we'll see what's up for next week. So hang out with us then and tell somebody about the show. Share the information. Check us out online at apajamaparty.com. Shout out to our parent company, DCHomegrown.com. We appreciate you, and we appreciate all of our listeners from the East Coast to the West, the North to the South, and everybody overseas. Thank you so much for hanging with us. And we're going to say goodnight and get on out of here. Say goodnight, Poppa DD.
Good night. Good night.
Say goodnight, Ketel.
Good night.
And good night from the Pajama Party Crew. Peace.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
Is it all over, Rock?
I guess so. I bid you farewell, arrivederci, sayonara, and all that sort of jazz.
Well, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Well, good night.
Yabiko. Sana.
I regret to announce this is the end. I'm going now.
Good night, and good luck.
Was it as good for you as it was for me?
Now give me a kiss and say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Goodbye now. Goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you for attending our show, and good night.
Pajama Party,